Hi, this is Lisa Harris with My Creative Pursuits. I'm back with a very belated Scraps and Stash Saturday, but hopefully it'll been worth the wait because I've got lots to share with you today. If you're not familiar with Scraps and Stash Saturday, each month I create a kit from my existing stash and then make as many projects as I can throughout the month using only that kit. Then each week I share the projects here as well as little tips and tricks along the way. However, for the month of May, we're doing things a little differently. I'm participating in the Layout a Day challenge over at layoutaday.com. So instead of choosing just one big kit to work for the entire month, each day I'm picking a mini kit specifically for the layout I'm working on for that day's prompt. By the end of May, I will have created 31 mini kits and 31 layouts total. It's the most productive I've been in years. So let's get into it. The first kit I picked comes from an older line by Reminisce that I actually received as part of a prize package from one of their contests. The line is called Unwritten and it has a very 70s vibe, which is awesome because most of the photos I'm using for this challenge are from that time period. In this kit, there's a die-cut background paper, borders, stickers, and frames. And here's my layout. Stay tuned. The prompt of the day was to talk about how you watched television in the past, so I journaled about having only 3 channels and a television that looked like a piece of furniture. At the bottom, I used pictures printed from the internet showing just a few of my favorite TV shows from that era. I used the die-cut background paper, one of the frames, a journaling card from the Unwritten line, and a few of the dimensional stickers. The next kit is made up of Jelly Bean Soup papers, My Mind's Eye stickers, and October Afternoon and Thickers alphabet stickers. The layout I made is called My Troublesome Two Front Teeth. The prompt for the day was to scrap about the dentist or something related to teeth, so my journaling tells the story of my 2 front teeth, how they fell out, one was almost knocked down my throat by my sister, how they grew in too big for my mouth, and how I've finally grown into them, I hope. I didn't wind up using all the patterns I had pulled for the kit, and I also added a metal rim tag and a couple of the unwritten flower stickers. The next kit was pulled together from all over the place. We've got My Mind's Eye pattern papers, Simple Stories alphabet stickers, Studio Calico journaling cards, Fancy Pants buttons, random ribbons from my stash, and red and brown polka dot fabric tapes. And the layout is called The Teacher in Me. The prompt for the day was to scrap what you wanted to be when you grew up, and of course I wanted to be a teacher. For this layout, I pulled in some school-themed papers, layered 2 of the Studio Calico journaling cards, and made the star embellishments by die-cutting the shapes and covering them with the fabric tape. Originally, I wanted to do this technique, but using the ribbons I had chosen instead, kind of collaged together on the stars. The end result was too bright and busy for the page, so I went with the brown fabric tape all by itself, and it worked much better. The next kit contains lots of scraps from previous projects. I pulled in a Simple Stories fabulous pattern paper, scraps of Jelly Bean Soup and My Mind's Eye, Studio Calico journaling cards, pink paisley alphabets, and My Mind's Eye stickers. The layout is called I'm a Believer. The prompt was to scrap about your faith, so my journaling tells about how, although I wasn't raised in church, I was always a believer at some level. The layout itself is simple with some blocks of pattern paper, a doily sticker, and a couple of die-cut butterflies I found in my embellishment box. This kit has pages from a 6x6 paper pad from Echo Park called Paper and Glue. I also pulled in another Studio Calico journaling card, some My Mind's Eye pattern paper, and thickers. And my layout is called Whoops. The prompt was to scrap about a mistake you've made, and I journaled about the time I chopped off my own hair. Yes, I was much older than preschool when I did it, but in my defense, I told her I wanted it shorter. Still, I hated it so much that I grew my hair out for about 4 years without cutting any length. The layout is again simple with blocks of pattern paper arranged across the page, and I also used a few My Mind's Eye brads for final embellishing. Ah, the prize paper. I guess once I got past my initial disgust with this paper, it kind of started to grow on me. In this kit, I've got 4 of the pattern papers. The big circles, the pink, and the orange are scraps from other projects, and some black and white thickers. And my layout is called Disco Fever. The prompt was to scrap about signs of the times of your childhood or past. Of course, I chose disco because that's what the 70s seemed to have been all about. I printed photos from the internet of the solid gold logo, a Saturday Night Fever movie poster, album covers of the Bee Gees and ABBA, and a disco ball. The background is extremely busy, so I layered a block of orange over it to journal on and also to let the photos pop. For this next kit, I pulled some Echo Park For the Record scraps in blues and creams, an Amy Tangerine Ready Set Go pattern paper for the background, some My Mind's Eye stickers and brads, Studio Calico journaling blocks, and crepe paper metal rim tags. This layout is called 66 Acre Playground. The prompt was to scrap about your playground or outside play in general, and I chose to journal about growing up on our farm and having a huge 66-acre playground to explore. I pulled in some Pebbles Tiny Type alphabets and thickers for the title, as well as a couple of flowers I received in my retreat goodie bag this weekend. The pennant element in the upper left corner is made by cutting down a blank journaling card and layering it over some of the pattern paper. And for this kit, I pulled scraps from previous projects, another Amy Tangerine background paper, a sheet of the Echo Park 6x6 paper, a Studio Calico journaling block, Pebbles Tiny Type, and thickers, and some My Mind's Eye brads. And made this layout called Just Drinking and Thinking. The prompt for the day was to scrap about your school spirit, but I really didn't have any photos to go along with that or really anything much to say. So instead, I went with the overall theme for the day, pastimes, and scrapped about my sister and I spending the night at our other sister's apartment and drinking Slenderalls for breakfast the next morning. The photo is a little overexposed, so you can't really make out any writing on the cans we're holding, so it would seem like we're sitting around knocking back a couple of brewskis, and of course extremely underage to be doing that. The layout is again a couple of blocks of pattern paper over a pattern background. I cut out the banner at the top and the pennant on the orange piece with my Cricut art booking cartridge and added a gold doily sticker for other embellishment. So that wraps up this week's Scraps and Stash Saturday. There's 1 week left in the Layout a Day challenge, so my plan is to finish strong. I'll be back next week with those final layouts and a sneak peek at what's on tap for June. Till then, take care.